Well, good morning, you sons of bitches. How's everyone doing? I slept in, but I was up late last night reading that fucking Elvis Presley book. I wasn't stopping until I got that done. I haven't read a book like that in a long time, that quick. I've had that book for years and I haven't read it. I've wanted to read it. And, I don't even know where I got that book from, but I'm sure either from my aunt, my mom, or somebody. But I've had that book for years and never read it until, the day before. I started it Thursday, I think, and then Friday, I had a wicked fucking headache. I was in bed all day. Yesterday, I woke up, did my videos, called Ford Nation, and went back to bed until about 11. And I felt better as the day went on. I feel really good today. So, whether I was fighting the devil because I'm doing God's work, or it's because all these people in Peterborough are fucking around with me, and the rest of the politicians across the country. I haven't checked my email to see if anybody's got back to me. Not likely, because everyone likes to have their weekends off, right? So, luckily, my ODSP is not suspended anymore. Isn't that fucked? Isn't that fucked? I can't help but think just the fact that Michelle Ferrari's email was added to that mass email probably helped me in some way. Michelle Ferrari's got clout in this town, and everybody in Peterborough fucked her over because Michelle Ferrari should be the MP. I know. I saw with my own fucking eyes all the businesses alone that supported Michelle Ferrari, and businesses don't usually get involved in politics, but last April's election was pretty fucking significant. Donald Trump's only been in the second time since January of last year. We were already fucked, like in my description. Canada was already fucked before Donald Trump, right? So, all we can do is really fucking hope that Donald Trump is Elvis Presley. It really makes sense. So, I left off. I want to kind of think about this a little bit more. Oh, yes, and here's my chicken scratch notes from the other day. All the fucks I was dealing with. Because on top of audio, I keep paper trails too, you dumb fucks, okay? I wasn't a supervisor for nothing, okay? At ministry requirement, licensing, this bitch here got 100% because my book work was always great, okay? So when I told all of yous I was recording for quality fucking assurance, I wasn't kidding. I know I joke, but my jokes are serious too, you dumb fucks. And I give warnings, okay? Warning, warning, warning. Fuck. So, in the mass email, I am going to add the Social Benefit Tribunal to appeal all these fucks in Peterborough. And I want a new ODSP worker, and I'm sure my ODSP worker's just following the rules. But rules are meant to be broken, and if you're there to help people and you're in a position of power, you don't abuse it, you little fuck. I've never met my ODSP worker, but I think you're a little fuck sucking the government's dick. Anybody working with vulnerable people should be a fucking advocate. No wonder I had a fucking headache, right? You take somebody's fucking money away. And I'll be calling Doug Ford's hotline bling later to make sure that we start the ball on fucking Monday. That nobody vulnerable gets their money stripped from them because that's what my ODSP worker did. Stripped me of my money twice in a fucking year. And the ombudsman was aware, and they're in this mass fucking email. And I might call the OPP again and see if that fucking little fucking Nancy Drew fucking detective, and I told her to call me back when she read my fucking file, and I didn't swear, but I hung up. But then they'll blame me, right? It'll be me. I hung up on them. No, I said, read the file, bitch. And I didn't say that. That's my alter ego. But I said to the OPP, I said, you know what? My 12-year-old self, Rita Nancy Drew, could have figured this out. I did tell the officer that. I won't stop until all of this is laid to fucking rest. I am not getting no more fucking forms for no one. And it's funny, when the OPP, I'm going off topic, but this is relevant. When the OPP was acting like they didn't know my case, and I said, well, I'm not getting a form, because she said, oh, well, you just have to get a medical form. And I said, I'm not. I've been a part of the healthcare system since I was a baby with ear problems, and I'm in medical books. And she said she knew that. So if she knew I was in medical books, bitch, you should know the rest, right? Right. Good morning, Bam Bam. Good morning, Bam Bam. My man, you're really growing the Children's Safety Network. Unbelievable. Guys, standing for the boys in St. Catharines, Hamilton, Niagara region. Hats off. Niagara got their safety network. Now Durham and now Brantford. I'd like to get Peterborough on there, but we're just a bunch of pussies in Peterborough. This is hot. I'm drinking out of my big time cup, and this stays hot for a long time. Big time! So I'll be sure to add the Social Benefit Tribunal. Okay? And I may call today, but I want to check my email to see if anybody's, slap my hand because I swear. Right? And funny, when I skimmed and perused that email that my ODSP worker sent, he was talking about how he didn't want threatening language. Bitch, you are fucking abusing me financially, so you can go fuck off, right? I'm not softening my language because you're fucking with me. You want to fuck with me? I fuck right back and twice as hard. I want this shit to be done with. I just want to live my life without doing everybody's fucking work. God damn it, I'm like fucking Barbara Walters. I go live more than the rest of these fucks. And CBC, Global News, CBC, they're live, but they all got the same goddamn story. Like, wake up, guys! Wake the fuck up! I don't know what happened in Toronto yesterday. I just saw on Michelle Ferrari's post. I was too busy reading this book all day yesterday. What, some fire in Toronto at an apartment building? Well, expect more of that, bitches, because we have terrorists and criminals just running amongst, right? Just a big fucking free-for-all in Canada because of your liberal government. Oh, boys up, you fucking idiots. Jesus Christ. All we can hope is that Elvis Presley faked his death. All we can hope. And I could keep going on about my Elvis trivia, but you could look over my recent videos. And I'm just using Mark Zuckerberg. All he does is, he's a pervert protector, right? So it's easier for me to do these lives right here, and then I go on to YouTube and put them there. So all these videos you see will eventually just poof, disappear. Like the billions of fucking kids being sex trafficked. These videos will just poof, disappear. But you'll find them on YouTube, so be sure to subscribe. In the Elvis book, my chicken scratch notes. Chapter 1, Elvis came in sick to the hospital. The nurse Marion, that's when she met Elvis. He gave her jewelry from Henry Levitt's jewelry. Well, I think that Levitt is his White House speaker. You know, that blonde, beautiful woman. And she's only beautiful because she's got one personality on her. Like she's a tough bitch. And I like girls that stand in their power, aren't pussies, okay? And maybe she's a shady bitch, because women are just as corrupt as men, right? But Elvis trusted this jeweler, and that's where he got all his jewelry from. And isn't it funny that it shares the same name as his White House speaker, press secretary, or whatever, the one that goes out and makes the statements. Elvis had colon problems. Chapter 2 is thoughtfulness. Elvis was going to AWOL from Texas when he was stationed to go to the army. He was in Texas when his mom was sick, and he threatened to AWOL to go see his mom, and he did see her, and then that's when he went to Germany. Chapter 3, they talked about Catherine von der Hoya. Hoya, I couldn't help but think that that's a boxer, wrestler, or some sort, and Elvis was into martial arts, right? I don't know. Charlie and Margaret Rich were mentioned, and I'm wondering if they were, you know, Big and Rich, John Rich. I wonder if he's connected to them. These are just things I want to look up. Chapter 4, Graceland, was when the nurse went to Graceland, and she said that Elvis never talked of Hollywood except when her mother was sick and he was trying to distract her. It was the first he brought up Hollywood. He didn't like talking about Hollywood. Roy Clark was mentioned in there, being at the hospital, I think. I have to look that. It was just notes for myself. So that was Elvis's first time complaining about Hollywood, and that's all that was said. Chapter 5. Elvis was singing How Great Thou Art. He had a really, his bond with his nurse was unbelievable. And the nurse spoke nothing but good things about Elvis. And she asked him if he would sing that song, How Great Thou Art, at her funeral. And she asked if Elvis would sing it at her funeral. And he said that he would, but did she have a tape player? Well, she's obviously older than Elvis, right? There was a doctor mentioned, Eli Gano. I want to check him out. Elvis took his nurse on the airplane to, on a trip. Like, they went over the Grand Canyon to Las Vegas, and they went over Palm Springs. And his new house in Palm Springs. Well, if my geography is correct, isn't Palm Springs in Florida? And isn't that where Trump has his? But when they were going to the airport, they were driving by the Colonel's house, Tom Parker's house in Palm Springs. I think that Colonel Parker put a lot of his money. If he knew there was money in selling kids, I'm sure that Tom Parker would have done it. But they didn't pop in to see Tom Parker, and he wasn't home. And if you watch the Elvis movie, Elvis did fire Tom Parker, but he couldn't get out of his contract with Tom Parker because he had Elvis by the balls. Like, he put his stamp on everything, so he would have sued Elvis for more. So Elvis could never have got really out of his contract with Tom Parker unless he killed him, or unless he faked his death, right? He would never have lived a normal life. Chapter 6. He talked about his tours and Hollywood stories again. And when this nurse's Marion's mother was sick, she wanted to put her mother in one of the good rooms at the hospital, or get her mom there, whatever, and she said she had to give her mom the snow job to convince her and coax her. Well, the first time I heard the snow job, and maybe it's been common knowledge before the Elvis movie, but in the Elvis movie, with Tom Hanks as the Colonel, isn't that ironic, right? Tom Hanks is apparently the biggest pervert, right? That we know. We think, right? Because they only talk about Trump, right? Well, isn't it funny that Tom Hanks played the Colonel? But that's when the snow job I heard for the first time, because the Colonel was trying to make money off of Elvis, right? And he made all this Elvis merch to sell. Elvis, I think, wanted to break up with Linda Thompson or something. He wasn't happy. And throughout the book, the nurse never talked about Elvis being a man whore. It sounded like everything we've learned about Elvis may have been fake. I don't know. I don't think, maybe in his younger days, he was sowing his wild oats and stuff. Like, I don't know. But it sounds like she didn't say that. She never talked about women coming and going from his house. If anything, it was only the people he was dating, right? That would come to Graceland. Linda, Ginger, and Priscilla, right? Joanne Berlinski, Elvis's nurse and friend of Marion, died in 1977 at age 31. Isn't that weird? A nurse that worked at the hospital that worked directly with Elvis or died at 31, 1977. There was no more mention of why. So I want to look up Joanne. Elvis on page 112 dreamed that no one cared about him and that everyone was just after his money. And money is the root of all evilness. And everyone was taking advantage of Elvis. It was said throughout the book. And if you have money, then you would know that people do try to take advantage of you, right? So Elvis asked the nurse if, out of all the Memphis Mafia, his crew, was there anyone that she didn't care for? He really trusted this nurse, right? And she was really nice the way she worded it, and she said that she didn't really care for... There's two David and Dave, and I think David Hibbler is the one she's talking about. There's a Dave Hibbler and a David Leach, but I don't think it's him. I think it's this Dave Hibbler. Dave, Red, and Sonny. She said their loyalty went as far as their paycheck. So that's all she had to say about those guys. Their loyalty went as far as their paycheck. Chapter 8. Patty, who is a sister, I think. Oh, 1 second. Haha, my neighbor just swung by to give me a little gift for dog sitting. Fuck you, ODSP worker. Even then, when I do the right thing and let him know when I get, like, money, which that's just a gift, you still try to fuck me around, like, even when I'm honest, right? Like, I'm not hiding nothing. Fuck. Anyways, thank you, neighbors. So, Chapter 8. Patty she's a sister or sister-in-law to this Marion, okay? But it just randomly, she wrote, Marion, that her sister's family was a director of a school for retarded children. It was just random in there, okay? So, chapter must have been the same. Dr. Mrs. Wood and Maurice Elliott's mother in the hospital. Page 127. And I want to look this up, Mrs. Woods. It was just weird, because it's like, didn't Tiger Woods just get into an accident? And is there any connection to this Wood and Tiger Woods? Like, because I know yesterday, or whatever day it was, Donald Trump came out, and, like, he's a golfer too, right? And I don't know. I just don't know. There may be no connections, but I wrote that down just in case. Chapter 10. Elvis didn't like his stepmom, D. So, on page 140, that might have been chapter 11. Maybe it was still chapter 10. I don't know. I didn't take chapter 11 notes, I guess. But on page 140, Marion talks about Elvis saying to her that, like, if something ever happened to him, the gates of Graceland will always be open for you and the door to this house. I got goosebumps, man. And Carolyn Kennedy was mentioned. Chapter 10. Now, what did they say? It was like she reported something wrong. Let me see. Oh, 157. Good thing I'm so fucking organized, right? 157 is actually at the end here. Oh. This was at Elvis's funeral, okay? I had noticed a red-haired lady at the funeral with tall, nice-looking man, but I didn't know until I saw their picture in the paper the following day that it was Anne Margaret and Roger Smith. There were reports that John Wayne, Sammy Davis Jr., and other stars would be there, but they were not. Sammy Davis Jr., like, you think he would have been there, don't you think? And Elvis loved John Wayne. It was a pity that Carolyn Kennedy came, not to offer her... It was a pity that Carolyn Kennedy came, not to offer her condolences, But to gape and sell a story, she spent only about 10 minutes in the house, and when she did write her story, the details she gave were not accurate. She should have saved herself a trip and stayed home. Ooh. Elvis. Elvis knew the dirty shit in Hollywood. And it's going to come out. I could be wrong, but I think Trump is Elvis Presley, for fuck's sakes. I don't know. What else would you say? Anyways, I gotta go, because fuck, I slept in. Christ, it's close to noon, isn't it? Like, I'm used to being up fucking before the sun comes up. So I slept in today because I didn't shut her down till about 3 o'clock last night. I think I finished reading the goddamn book about 1:45. So I'm going to pitter-patter, make my bed, tidy up a bit, and just kind of take it easy, upload my shit to YouTube, and if anything pops up, I'll be sure to pop on. And I can't believe last week I was at the Mr. Freedom show. It has been a crazy week for me, but it was good. That's why I didn't check any of my emails until days after I came back from the Mr. Freedom show, because my guts were telling me that somebody was fucking with me. And sure enough, I checked my email. It's a good thing I didn't check my email before I went to the show, right? Because they sent me letter mail, my ODSP, on March 18th. That I was going to be denied, and then electronic mail Monday after the Mr. Freedom concert. That's what it felt like. I felt like I was at a concert with Mr. Freedom. Big time! So, anyways, it's been such a busy week, eh? And then it turned real stressful, which is probably why I had that wicked fucking headache. Because I'm a political prisoner in Peterborough, right? So, anyways, that's just a me problem, not a you problem. Because if you're not becoming a political prisoner in Canada, then you ain't serving your country. If you're not a political prisoner yet in Canada, then you ain't serving your country, okay? Anyways, I'll talk to you fucks later, okay? Bye!